This is Ola at My Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire. Welcome back. Welcome back. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to My Empire Pro. We cover real estate wholesaling and digital marketing here. So we're gonna fly through some contents today. So make sure you're paying attention. Take some notes. Pay attention. Also, there's a free course on the YouTube channel. Just go to the homepage once we're done with this session, and then you'll be able to get that. Okay. So I'm sure you're here because you want to make $10,000 per month without owning a single property, or at least having maybe you want to own properties, but you want to own them with built-in equity. So we're going to break that down exactly how to launch your wholesale real estate business from scratch. And if you're already doing it, you're also going to get a lot of value out of this, because the reality is that a lot of people that are already doing it, they tend to have too much fluff. A lot of them are struggling. Most people, I hate to break it to you, will actually not make money, not because it doesn't work, because there's a lot of fluff in what some of the other gurus are teaching. So my goal here is to make it simple for you, so that if you decide you want to implement some of the stuff I'm covering here on your own, you at least have a straight to the point strategy. All right. So let me see here. Let me do something here real quick. Just want to make sure that I don't spend too much time talking. All right. So what we talked about here, real estate wholesale, wholesale real estate. Wholesale real estate is the art and the science of finding deeply discounted properties, locking them up under contract. Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'll be sipping on ginger ale just to keep my throat clear. All right. So wholesale real estate is the art and science of finding deeply discounted properties, locking them up with a real estate purchase contract at a discounted price, and then assigning the right to such contract to end buyer investors for in exchange for an assignment fee. Assignment fee can go anywhere from $10,000 to $82,000. That's my personal experience. All right, and can average somewhere around $15,000 to $25,000 per deal. And the idea here is to build systems. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about systems, but we have systems, and then these systems are built around a simple business model, which is data, contact, leads, contract, and deals. Let me explain what I just said. Basically, the process goes through about three simple processes. The system goes through three system processes, from finding a good deal to disposition. Okay. So we call it marketing, acquisition, and disposition. Marketing is essentially finding a property that's up for discount. Well, they don't fall out of the skies. You have to, there's a few things that goes into that. First of all, you want to make sure there's a motivated seller, some type of distressed property usually, but there's a motivated seller. There's a human being who has a piece of property that was supposed to be an asset, but is now a liability for them for whatever reason. So over here, we tend to focus on list pendings. We call them pre-foreclosures or list pendings, meaning pending lawsuits. Basically, when somebody has stopped payment on their property, um, the bank that borrowed them the money to purchase the property will attempt to take over the property at some point and kick them out. Somewhere between when they stop payment and when they actually effect kicking them out can take anywhere from 10 months to 5 years. Those are opportunity. That's a stressful moment for sellers. Those are opportunities for you to come in and offer to purchase the property, put it under a contract. That's acquisition. and then assign that contract to an end buyer for $10,000, $25,000. Why? Because you found a deal, a property worth $500,000. You were able to secure it for 265. An end buyer is always happy to give you $10,000 of that money, or $82,000, my highest ever. So it's doable, but it sounds simple. It is simple. Easy, that's debatable. Depends on what system you follow. Okay, so that's basically wholesale real estate, and that's the simple business model. We find properties, we put them under contract, we assign such contract, and the end objective is profit. All right. So there's quite a few things in your startup kit, if you will, quite a few things. Obviously, you're running a business. A lot of people will say create a business name before you get started. I I don't think that matters. I think what matters is knowing how to do the business. I think after your first deal, you can now align some of those things. If you want, if you're the kind of person, it's more of a personality psychology thing. If you want to, some people will rather secure business names and phone numbers and all these different things, and then that get them going. Some people that overwhelms them. There's a lot of people that actually go through the process of setup, and now they're completely drained, and they start to feel discouraged because it's that's a just focus on finding deals. Just focus on knowing how to find deals. If you know how to find deals, you will get paid. And that's what I focus on here, which is why we have a book. You can download all my books for free. Just go to myempirepro.com/books. But I have my latest book, my most recent book on these topics is Digital Marketing Certified. The idea is to help you get down to learning how to find deals super fast, easier. Okay, super fast is a little bit extreme, but the point is that you have a simple process to follow. You can use social media platforms, you can use internet platforms to find some of these deals because all of us are hanging out on the internet. Unlike when I started back in the days, when I started back in the day, um, we used letters, because people every day will go to their mailbox. That's what it was back in 2005, 20 years ago. But today, people wake up to their Instagram feed, they wake up to their Facebook feed. Guess where you should be if you want these deals finding you? We'll call that inbound leads. If you want these leads finding you, you need to be in those feeds. So that's something that we'll talk more about as we're getting through this, right? So I'm sharing that with you to say it's actually a very simple business model, but don't overcomplicate it with what do I need an LLC? Do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need that? You need all of it. Do you need them to get started? No, you need to know how to find deals to get started. Okay, it's a mindset shift that you need to have. That you probably the gurus that are looking to sell you $35,000 stuff. Of course, they're going to tell you to go through all this a bunch of series of nonsense that ultimately going to frustrate you before you get to the point of learning how to find leads. I want you to start learning how to find leads and deals, find these properties, find these motivated sellers first. Okay, that is the process. Okay, so over here with I have a course on the front page. So think of it as a 5-day boot camp. They're like 5, 6, 7 minutes each. Watch all 7 of the videos, 7 videos, sorry, about video 1, 2, 3. It's called Wholesale 101 or maybe free wholesale classes right on the front page of this YouTube channel, My Empire Pro, and that will get you going. Okay. All right. So those are the things I want you to pay attention. Now that you know how to start the business, let's make sure that you're doing it legally. Okay. Let's talk about something that I said you shouldn't worry about, but let me give you some synopsis on licensing, compliance, what the law actually says about wholesaling. Let's talk about some of those things. All right, because I do believe that I think it's going to be important. But keep in mind that it's mostly mindset. 80% of this is mindset. The rest of the 20% is a skill set, which I'm also here to help you around. And also the opportunity to partner with me is there. All right, so let's move on. Let's go talk about licensing, and I'll be right back. Mm-mm.
This is Ola, my Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your empire starts today. I've written three game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.
All right, welcome back. So, do you need a business license to wholesale real estate? Let's talk about that real quick. I mean, you now know how to start. If you don't know how to start, just watch my previous video on this wholesale real estate. But do you need a business license? Can you really wholesale houses without a real estate license, or is that illegal? The answer might surprise you, but let's get into it. First of all, in the United States, keep in mind we're talking about United States, by the way. Can you do this from outside of the United States? Yes, but without partners, it might be a little bit difficult. But I'm here, and I'm open to partnership. Depends on how you want to come in. We're going to talk about the leverage points that you can come into wholesale real estate in a little bit. But let's focus on this. First of all, it's a state by state by state. Every state, there's about 50 states in the United States. I don't know if there's a 51st state, but it's about 50 states. Every state, they have their own different guidelines around real estate. Real estate is a regulated industry. Okay. So there are things like disclosures, there are things like letting people know upfront what you're up to. But there's also marketing. There's also things around. There's also regulations around marketing. So when you create inbound marketing campaigns, which is finding deals, or outbound marketing campaigns, particularly outbound, when you're cold calling people's houses and phone numbers, basically unsolicited outreach to them, there are guidelines from state to state on how to do that legally. Okay, so it depends on the state. I don't teach outbound. I teach inbound, meaning people reach out to you. Okay, you set up your marketing campaign and people reach out to you. They raise up their hand. They said, I have a house to sell. I would like cash, all cash for my house. And I would like to close as soon as possible. They came to you because they want speed, but they also need to trust you, right? So if they didn't need speed, they will go to a conventional real estate agent, right? And they will list the house on the market, and that person will represent their interest. In this case, you're not representing their interest, you're representing maximizing profit interest. Okay, maximizing profit not just for you but for your end buyer investor. Remember, you will be assigning the contract to an end buyer. So your goal is profit numbers. You look at the numbers and you let them know this is what I'm willing to offer. And then they decide, they will exercise their autonomy and decide if they want to sell you the house or not. Meaning they decide they want to sign your contract for a particular price point or not. That's completely on them. All right. So just understand that in terms of that, there's a blurry line between what you're doing as a wholesale real estate because you'll be assigning the contract to somebody else for the most part. There's a blurry line that's been created in the last 20 years between that and actually representing their interest, like as if you were a real estate agent. And a lot of people have been taking advantage in that respect. Or a lot of people have claimed to have been taken advantage of because they might claim that equity were stolen and things like that. Because at the end of the day, when you lock up a contract, hold on one second, guys. And the end of the day, when you lock up that contract is locking up equitable interest. Okay, so equity. Okay, you're looking to buy a piece of property with built-in equity. So there might be people that might claim that you stole their equity, even though they signed the paperwork. So there are guidelines. Okay, it's not, you don't always get accused of doing illegalities because you did illegalities, right? Sometimes it's just a very sensitive industry because it's real estate, there's a lot of money involved. So what you need to do is make sure that you have proper disclosures in place, make sure you're using the right contract. Okay, And when you're, this is where the choice of either you should assign the contract or do a double closing comes in. I personally always prefer double closing because you're buying the house and then you're selling the house. It might be 5 minutes apart, but they are clear two different paperwork. It might cost you two sets of closing costs, but it's worth it because then you avoid the situation where they say you're just getting paid like a realtor. Okay. So you're not just getting paid like a realtor, you are getting paid because you found a good deal, but you want to make sure you're having the right disclosures, the right clauses, and the right contract. And if you're interested in the contract that I use, let me know. I'll set it up so you guys can access it. All right. So I prefer double closing. Assigning contract, if you're going to make less than $15,000, assigning contract is okay. But I just generally prefer double closing because I also don't want, I've, my first deal was supposed to be $20,000 back in December 2025. And then the seller ended up saying that I was making $20,000 and then he got greedy. So I decided to negotiate. I chose to split my profit with him. So I gave him $10,000 and then I took the rest of the $10,000. And that was my first deal. It was still, and I was 26 years old. That was a lot of money. So I was 26 that year. Yeah, I was 26 years old. I just turned 26 at that time. So contract, a good contract, the right disclosures, and then again, after you close your first deal, make sure you set up your LLC and start using your LLC. Max, after you've closed your first deal, uh, you set up an LLC right away. If you are more than 26 years old now, set up an LLC right now. Should cost you maybe $100 or so. Okay, with your state. Okay. So in terms of business license, now I'll tell you like this: as you go through the business, it might be necessary if you know you're doing volume and you're doing well. It's not going to hurt to get licensed as an agent in your local state. That also exposes you to additional sources of income. You're able to represent yourself, you're able to represent other people, you're able to collect referral fees, and then you can now operate as a professional real estate person in any state in the United States, most likely with a referral if you're crossing state lines, but it just makes things a lot more easier. But don't overthink it. You're buying wholesale and you're selling wholesale to investors that actually want to put houses back in the market. You're creating market and you're helping the person that can't afford the property get rid of the property. So this is completely a ethical type of business. All right. So now that you know that the business is legal and compliance is at your reach anytime, let's talk about getting deals. Okay, which starts by getting leads. Leads, deal. You get it? Yeah, exactly. The fastest way to go broke is to forget about marketing. I hope that makes sense. Hey Raymond, good to see you, Raymond. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on. Let's get on to how to find deals. I will be right back.
This is Ola, my Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your Empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Marketing funnels. How wholesale real estate professionals get more deals. I can tell you right now, they get more deals by getting more leads, by making sure that they never take their eyeballs off of marketing. Okay. Never take your eyeballs, your attention away. Deals don't just fall into your lap. Professionals, they use systems that bring sellers to them consistently. Okay. So I want to show you how to build a marketing funnel that ensures that almost like printing money, but really it's about printing leads over and over and over again. All right. Raymond says, good to know wholesaling is still a viable way to make money in real estate? Absolutely. Wholesale. The concept of wholesale is a timeless concept. It's how to. It's the how tos. It's how you achieve that. That might change or evolve over time. Why? Because human attention is always moving, right? So we're talking about leads and sales and all this. Yeah. How do you find those leads? It's going to evolve over time. When you have an outreach, so since we're speaking about marketing funnels right now, when you have marketing almost messes up marketers and mess up everything. Okay, I'm a marketer. Okay, so marketing or marketers, they destroy everything. Why? Because once we find one channel, we zone in on it. Everybody, once there's opportunity to make money, eventually everybody will troop in on it and mess it up. Okay, eventually. What do I mean mess it up? Because oversupply of uh, anything would kind of like would diminish value over time, diminishing returns, if you will. So you have to pay attention to that as a business person. Where's the new marketing channel? Where can we market now? And one type of marketing that's evergreen, in my opinion, looking at it from an overhead standpoint, is inbound marketing. If you can figure out how to get people calling you, how to get people reaching out to you, that's going to be evergreen. But remember, I just said how to. So, how do you do that? How you did that back in 2005, 20 years ago, is different from how you do that in 2025. Or at least it's evolved quite a bit, right? So back then, everybody went to their mailbox, right? So we sent letters. So every other day we get calls or somebody in pre-foreclosure with the list pendings. Their name is on the list pendings list, and they reach out and they say, "Hey, I'm calling because I think I want to sell my house." So today is a little bit different. You can still do it, but you have a lot more competition because everybody else is doing it. You know where there's no competition right now? Digital marketing. Why? Because of algorithms. Shout out to the algorithms. What is algorithms? Audience. Our algorithm is essentially the same thing as audience. The algorithm is just more of a computer code, though, that kind of follow people and follow their attention based off of their behavior, their interest. How does it know their interest? Because they've been clicking, so it's following their behavior on the internet. So, yeah, I remember a few years back, people were saying it was dying because of the regulations. We're marketers. We say that about everything. So that's a quick secret for you. Wholesale is dead because we're trying to get your attention into probably the newest strategy, and we're probably trying to sell you the new strategy or sell you an opportunity to join the new strategy, because when we partner with you, we make money together, right? So, but there are elements of any business that nothing lasts forever accept certain principles like inbound marketing. If you can figure out that still needs and how to. The how to will evolve. But if you can figure out how to get people reaching out to you because they see value in what you have to offer, that is a timeless concept. Okay. So wholesale by itself as a word, the fact that people can go to a farm and buy cheap at a farm market price and sell it at retail, that is a timeless concept for as long as you can figure out, comprehend that people need value always, right? Real estate is a timeless concept. People need a roof over their head. It's the how to's that will always evolve. Okay. So think of marketing the same way. So that's why I have a third book called Digital Marketing Certified, because what I teach in there is the people, the value, and the system, PVS, right? Or marketing, the market and media, right? Or message, market, media, those three pillars of marketing. If you understand that and you can use that to drive an inbound outreach campaign, then you will have a timeless business. Now, with that understanding, you understand where is the market? Where do they hang out? Where are they hanging out? Are they on a social media feed or still in their mailbox? And these are the questions that needs to be answered, right? So, three-step funnel. Attract, capture, convert. Attract, capture, convert. Attract inbound, capture their contact information, get on the phone, acquisition, convert. Within disposition, which is when you assign your deals, to end buyer investor, you kind of almost need to repeat that. But because you have a deal in your hands and you have a valuable deal, it's okay to pick up the phone and call the closest people that can pick up these deals. Cold calling, if you will, but not really, because you have a contract in your hand. And if you have enough people on your buyers list, you can use SMS text messaging at that point. But for the marketing aspect of it, is marketing is acquisition and disposition. Marketing, I will discourage using anything that look like outbound marketing, because it's mass marketing at that point, and there are too many regulations. You can easily cross the wrong line. So I'd rather you learn how to set up digital marketing campaigns and have people calling you. Is the easiest way to do it. It doesn't matter if you're coming with money or you're coming with either you're coming with capital or you're coming with labor. It doesn't matter. We're going to talk about that in a second. You need to understand that the more mass it is, the higher the chances you probably do more inbound marketing. But when it comes to how you have a contract and you need to dispose the contract, assign the contract so you can collect your $10,000 or $82,000, right? At that point, it's okay to pick up a phone and say, "Hey, Joe, I noticed you bought a house down the street last time. I have a deal that you want to take a look." Yeah, send him right down. Joe is happy to hear that kind of call, because Joe is an established investor who is ready to take on the next deal, the next project. As long as you lock in the right contract, then you'll be fine. And if it's the wrong contract because you're just getting started, it's okay. You will learn. And losers don't understand that part, but hey, it is what it is. So that's how you wholesale. You collect leads using inbound marketing. I prefer you use inbound marketing. um Inbound marketing, you want to obviously drive that funnel to some kind of CRM. I use Get Response for that part of the business. I've used it forever. I've used Get Response since 2009. So if you go to myempirepro.com/get response, you can take a free trial of it and see how it works. It has automation in it. It has leads tracking and things like that in there. And then you just want to make sure that you're also measuring, because this is a smart goal. You want to, smart, specific, measurable, right? You want to see how many leads are coming in based on how much of your labor or capital is being invested. So you want to know what the cost per leads are. You want to know what the contract rates are, but you don't want to get obsessed over that until you've closed a few deals. Don't worry about that. Just go all out, massive action. Okay. So let me say this. I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but not to you guys. You guys are winners. Consistency. Marketing is a pipeline. You cannot do this for 2 weeks and quit. You can't do this for 2 months and quit. You must commit to doing it for the next 1 year. Whatever strategy, marketing strategy you've chosen, you have to commit to doing it for 1 year, even if no deals comes in. That's how it works. I doubt if you're going to. I closed my first deal in 6 months. Okay, there are people that close their first deals in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, but I can't. Like, there's no guarantee here. So you have to be that person that understand that the main factor, the main ingredient here is consistency. This is not a lottery. Okay, so your funnel is filling up, but how do you grow faster without risk? Now let's get into that. Let's dive into some proven hacks for scaling safely. I actually think the first hack is, I just said, it's consistency, but let's get into it. We've got some other stuff to cover here. Please help me hit the like button if you're getting value out of this. If you're getting value, please hit the like button. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me see. This thing is always acting funny. Stop it. All right. I'll be right back, guys.
This is Ola at My Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.
All right. Let's talk about scaling risk-free growth, wholesale real estate hacks that work. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Again, my name is Ola. Just in case you're catching me for the first time, make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notification. Deals don't just fall in your lap. We talked about that in the last video, right? But now, if you want to double your profit, let's say you've closed your first deal, your second deal, your third deal, okay? Like I told you, by the time I was closing the first deal, my next three deals, I had decided I wanted to leverage partnership. That's a hack. Okay. So I had the three deals going through the funnels with my partner and my mentor at the time because I just wanted to make sure that I'm learning because it's a learning curve. I'm learning in that process, but also that, even if a deal falls through or something like that, I can know why. And till today, I have relationship with some of those people. Like if I pick up a phone, I call them. Some of them, to be honest, are not in the business anymore. So the business are ups and down. Let's be frank. Most people doing wholesale, they're doing well, okay, but they're not billionaires, okay. Some of them may have collected a couple of million throughout the course, but it's a lot of ups and downs, okay. There's no billionaire doing wholesale real estate. Can we be honest with ourselves, okay? So, but for an average person, you have a regular day job, you're making $130,000 a year, and maybe you have a second job. That's not safe, right? Because all that can get removed from underneath you at any point in time. But this is one way where you can actually build freedom for yourself. Okay, you're in control. Why? Because real estate is always going to be, and also you do actually have a chance to make a couple of $1 million. You do have a very good chance if you figure this out, especially at scale, which is why I want to talk about this right now. So, how do you double your profit without doubling your risk? Yeah. How do you double your profit without doubling your risk? Let's get over some of those acts. I already give you two: consistency, partnership. Okay. The partnership part is something I really wish I learned a long time ago. Okay. To be honest with you, I was so young, and when you figure something out and you're doing it, it's not like I'm trying to protect other people from not seeing it. It's just a place of power. And unless somebody asks for me directly, I'm not telling. So, and also the idea of content creation, what I'm doing right here, which is a big part of the business for me. um it wasn't a thing that I learned until when the market crashed in 2008, and I discovered digital marketing in 2009. So it all comes in full circle, right? But that's the process. I'm sharing that with you right now, so you don't have to go through my same exact school of hard knocks, you know, type of, like, you can also learn from a little bit from my experience. Experience is still the best teacher, though, but you can learn from my experience, and yeah. So, but before I continue into some of this, as I gave you two hacks already, um, consistency and partnership. But before I continue to that, let me just look at what Raymond is saying. Raymond says, out you're gonna be doing inbound. Make sure you've done market research on your ideal target. Otherwise, you will end up with a lot of unqualified leads and wasted spend. That's a good point. That's a good point. But you know the good thing about digital marketing in 2025 and beyond? The AI. We're going to talk about AI here in a second. The market research is actually going to be done for you by your consistency. Okay. Obviously, you have to manage your marketing budget, right? But if you understand the consistency aspect of things, you understand that, if you understand the concept of nothing comes for free, right? You understand the tracking, right? Tracking conversion, tracking your leads. If you understand the acquisition end of things, which is somebody just drop their name, their phone number, and their email address into your website, you pick up the phone, you call them. That is a form of tracking, because if they actually have a house for sale, by the time you're calling the third, fourth lead, you won't know if it's quality. But also the way the AI works on these digital marketing platforms, example like Meta platforms like Facebook or Instagram, these are actual interest, right? If you go buy leads from unknown sources that are now regulated, yes, Meta is regulated, right? Where there's no real interest in making sure you get quality, where people just sell you a bunch of emails, then you are even more right. And I don't teach that. So I teach you set up the campaign and you're tracking things and you're looking at your campaign at least once a day, at least once a week. Because if things are running well, you look at it once a week, and you're also testing different creatives and making sure that your ads are not getting stale. These are all things that goes into it. All of that kind of ensures that you're not generating unqualified leads. And in terms of unqualified leads, it's actually you that need to qualify your leads. Okay. Now, for this type of business, you're the one that will qualify those leads. You pick up the phone and you call people. And there's going to be leads that will be like, oh no, I just thought you were a realtor. And you're like, well, are you looking for your realtor? Okay. And then you create relationship with local realtors. So there's always opportunities, no matter how we look at this. But I agree with you in the grand scheme of things. All right. So my internet is not the best. So if I'm looking choppy, just pay attention to the lessons. Hopefully, it's not choppy on the finished product. So what did we say? We say the hacks, consistency, okay, partnership is not a must, okay, it's just when you see the opportunity, embrace it. I just mentioned the type of partnership. If you're getting leads and those leads are people that are looking for a real estate agent, that's an opportunity to create partnership with local agents. Bring them business, they will bring you business. You start creating relationship. The third one is relationships. That's a hack. Okay. A fourth one, leverage. I'm not going to repeat myself. You might have to rewind the videos. Okay. A fourth one is leverage. Okay. Leverage. The fifth one is systems. I don't know if I'm going to remember. All right. The fifth one is systems. All right. I'll go over it. Okay. Last but not least, automation. Okay. I think I gave six. Let's go back again. The first one is from the last segment, which is consistency, then partnership, then leverage, then systems, then automation. Okay, automation, think AI, think AI. For example, market research is something that I had to sit down to do, spend a few hours. In fact, overspent hours on them. Okay, market research is you identify the size of your market, you identify competition, and you find a balance between a sizable market and competition. Right, that is a major part of market research. Today, AI is doing that hands off for you because the job of the AI is to optimize for your objective. Now, your objective have to make sense. It's the same thing as when you go to ChatGPT. The ChatGPT product is a function of your prompt. If you have terrible prompts, your ChatGPT will create stuff for you and it will sound good, but people can tell if it's ChatGPT stuff, right? So the quality of your prompt is what's going to determine the output you're going to get. So AI is the same way. So with AI, even though we say AI, the part of the work we need to do is make sure that our creatives are right. Creatives meaning the marketing message, right? See, it goes back to the original timeless principle: message, market, and media. The message has to be right. The market has to be right. That's market research, right? Who are the market? Who is the market, right? So we use prop stream if you're going to, if you're going to do outbound, right? If you're going to do outbound, you prop stream. But today we use it more so for market research when it comes to disposition end of things. But there's actually inbound marketing you can set up with still postcards, right? If you can find a sweet spot in a marketplace somewhere where postcards still work. Nobody's going there, right? But hopefully you have your way of disposing those deals, because if nobody's going there, there's a reason for it. So you're looking to make market, but you also want to make sure there's existing market. There are actually people that are open to buying what you have to offer. That's part of your market research. So again, let me go back. Consistency, partnership, leverage. Okay, consistency, partnership, leverage, systems, automation. That's five. Okay, that's five. But you don't have to start off that way. Okay, those are the hacks right there. But let's talk about execution. How does this work in real life? in terms of executing? How do you actually close deals fast with all of this in place? Because I'll tell you right now, a lot of people have a lot of things set up. Podio, this, that, prop wire, prop stream. They set up all this different stack of technology, and basically they forgot one thing: leads and deals. How do you avoid being that person? All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. We've got some more stuff to cover. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications, and let's move on. Let's talk about how to actually let's put this all together. All right, I'll be right back.
This is Ola at My Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.
All right. So how do we put it all together? All of this at the end of the day means nothing if you're not getting contracts signed. Okay, welcome back. My name is Ola. Wholesale real estate is the art and science of finding deeply discounted properties, locking them under contract at a discounted price. The idea is to secure properties with built-in equity. Okay, finding properties involve motivated sellers. Motivated sellers, my favorite is the list pendings list. They have a property that has become a liability, but you're able to come in as a buyer, lock it up under contract, assign the deal to an end buyer investor for an assignment fee, and you can make $10,000, $15,000, $25,000, $82,000. That's the highest I've ever done. There are people that have done $200,000 just from wholesale, but usually those are larger properties where you don't ideally don't play in that. Just play where there's a market. Okay, just play where there's a market. $200,000 to $800,000. Okay, once you start touching $1 million homes, I hope you know what you're doing. Okay, it means you can make more profit, but usually that comes with additional layers of expertise that there's no need to put yourself in that when you can make money a lot more easier and faster in a regular market where there's a market. All right, so with that being said, let's talk about. So I call this virtual wholesale real estate, because that's just the reality of where we live today. And also, you don't really have to go do if a lead calls in, a lead fills out your form and you talk to them. And back in the days, we will go inspect the property, and but within the first 2 years, like by 2007, I had stopped going to properties. I would just send them a fax. Back then, it was a fax. Send them a fax of the contract. And part of my way of gauging their motivation is to see if they will sign it and send it to me. And they always did. Okay. It's not like there are some that didn't, but for the most part, by the time you're talking to a person and you pre-qualify them on the phone, making sure that they actually need to sell. How soon do they need to sell? Why are they selling? Those are the way you gauge their motivation, right? Why they're selling, when they need to sell, and how much they're willing. You need to negotiate the price and say, okay, all right, good. Once you agree to something, you send them over the contract. Today, you use platforms like DocuSign. Today, if someone wants to talk to you, you can actually talk to them on Zoom. Today, you need to see what the area looks like. I mean, this is not retail deals. These are wholesale deals. You can actually use Google Maps, okay, to see a lot of things, okay. But the idea here is that keep things virtual unless it's absolutely necessary. When the investor who is actually going to purchase the property, obviously they're going to take on a fix and flip project, we need to touch and feel, to make sure there are no crazy issues in the basement, there are no crazy issues with oil leakages in the ground and things like that. That's They will take care of that. But for the most part, as a if you're doing the wholesale part of the business, numbers, want to make sure numbers are good, make sure you sign a good contract, good disclosures, Just want to get this thing signed. Focus, 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 focus. There's a lot of noise and there's signals. I'm sharing with you what the signal is. Okay. So, can you close a wholesale deal 100% online? Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Do you have to? No, you don't have to. If it's to stop by, there's some advantage to stopping by. If it's around the neighborhood, there's some advantages to that. Okay. But I'm just telling you right now that there are negligible advantages for the most part. It can be an advantage. When you call something an advantage, it's something you use. You just use it. It's an advantage. Okay. Just use the advantage. All right. If you're hearing a little noise, I'm sorry. I'm in a hotel room, and so I don't know. Hopefully, my mic works good to clean out the noise in the background. As a matter of fact, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, guys. All right, they're moving farther and farther away, so we should be good. All right. So what was I saying? See, lost my train of thought. But yeah. So virtual acquisition is a thing. Remote, just like you have remote jobs everywhere, especially after COVID and all that kind of stuff. You need to embrace the new world that we live in. Even when it comes to inspection, back in the days, we go just to inspect, take some pictures. You can actually have a lot of time when you go on Zillow, you see a bunch of pictures. If you're using PropStream, you'll see a bunch of pictures. And guess what? The best way is to, this is a motivated seller, right? And they're hoping that you will execute all the way through. Just like, can you please take a couple of pictures? Take a picture of the roof, take a picture of the exterior, take a picture of the bathroom, the kitchen, and can you please send that over to me? And that's usually you have more than enough there. So in terms of verification of the identity of the sellers, property condition and stuff like that, those are things that again you leverage. Remember, one of the hacks is leverage other people. There are more than enough other professionals that will help you here. Okay, hold on, I need to stop her. I'm gonna stop her. Hold on one second. So sorry about this guy. Sorry. All right. It's been a struggle. I can't. Marriott, what's up? I can't. It's been a struggle, but we're struggle streaming, and but I needed to drop the content. All right. So overcoming seller hesitation is going to be a big deal. That's something you have to learn. Okay. But I'll tell you, don't overthink it. Overcoming what we call objection. Okay. Overcoming objection is something that should be done with your social proof, your transparency, just being upfront. If you just keep it straightforward. Remember, these are motivated sellers, so you don't have to oversell, but you need to learn how to handle simple objections. So how soon can we close? We're gonna close as soon as possible. Just want to make sure that the title work is clean. We want to make sure that there's no clouds on your title and things like that. It's gonna take us maybe 10 days. 10 days is more than, if it's a good deal, 10 days is more than enough to find the right seller for the property. Okay. So even when it comes to virtual disposition, let's say you picked up a property in another state somewhere, you use partnership. Remember what we said? One of the hacks is partnership. Check on Zillow, check on the most common real estate agents out there or brokerage, Keller Williams, Wykert, places like that. and create partnerships, create relationships with people that you can actually split profit with, not just on this deal, but as time goes on. It's going to build your Rolodex, and these are part of the ways that you're going to build a business over time. So now, once that you're closing deal, either locally or virtually, the next level is scaling smarter. Remember, we're just talking about scaling right now, but let's talk about even scaling smarter. Let's talk about four leverage points that separate hustlers from business owners. I actually like to call it winners from losers, but that's not nice. Let's call it hustlers from real business owners, right? Because um, business is tough. Okay, so you want to make sure you have all the help you need to navigate a lot of stuff that's going on. There's a lot of moving variables. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have enough leverage points for that. So the leverage point I'm about to share with you is actually something that's used very commonly in the world of venture capitalists. It's no different here. So I needed to really call your attention to it. All right. So do me a favor, hit the like button, share, subscribe. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, my Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your Empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.
All right, welcome back. Four leverage points: code, media, labor, capital in wholesale real estate. This is not stuff you're going to hear a lot. Now, again, if you're just getting started, um, don't overthink this stuff, but there are things you need to understand. Okay, there are things you need to understand. Don't overthink it, but you need to understand them. If you stopped working tomorrow, would you wholesale real estate again? Would your wholesale business keep running? Uh, it depends. Maybe not, right? If you couldn't work anymore, right? But it goes a long way to just understand how people build businesses at scale. It also helps even when it comes down to leveraging the right tools. A lot of people buy a bunch of tools that are basically useless in the effort to try to get a deal fast. The fastest way to get a deal is consistency. Did I say that already? Okay. All right. So whatever channel, whatever strategy you've chosen, consistency is key. If you're going to show up today and not show up the next 2 months after being working for 2 months, you have to start all over again. So that doesn't really help anything, right? So I want you to think of code, right? Code. See, back in the days, 20 years ago, it wasn't a thing. It's now a thing. Why? Because we live in a digital world. We live in a digital era. And a lot of the functionalities behind our lifestyle today are actually backed by code. Okay. And you're going to see more and more of it. Very soon you're going to see even in our households, and I mean you already see smart houses now everywhere. They're building smart houses, right? So you see all these smart cars, all this electric cars coming out, and all these different things, right? So this is our life today. So you have to pay attention to the fact that code is a point of leverage at the end of the day. So you're going to need automation. Okay, I'm reiterating that automation, backed by a lot of behind the scenes codes, are going to be a big part of your business. So I already mentioned earlier that you're going to do CRMs. CRMs will basically manage your contacts. It basically stands for contact relationship management software, or I think they call it customers relationship management software. Some people call it client relationship management software. Okay, the CRM. Okay, see, there are multiple different type of CRM out there. Don't overthink it. As a matter of fact, you can use Excel as a CRM. Okay, when I started, I used Excel. You can still use Excel if you're still doing a few deals and you're cold calling and you're doing things manually. Keep it manual. If you're going to generate inbound leads from meta platforms and stuff like that, I recommend Get Response. can have a free trial of it. You can set up an easy web form easily where people will complete their name, their email address, and their phone number. And it's all drag and drop. So when we say code, it's no longer about coding. It used to be coding, but now code, just understanding that it's code. But you can drag and drop and get things functional within few minutes. Okay. So you can find get response at myempirepro.com/get response. All right. And also, if you don't want to use like a CRM, an external CRM, there's a way you can set up forms directly on Meta, or sorry, on Facebook or Instagram, right? And you can set up those forms. When those forms are completing, when this prospects when they complete the form directly right there in the news feed, you can have Zapier. There's a API tool called Zapier that can connect your leads and connect it directly to your CRM. Okay, if that's the thing, also you can use to connect multiple different digital tools. If this sounds too technical, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But I just want you to understand that there a big part of your four main leverage points in this business is your tech stack. Okay, and if you're starting off for the first time, forget get response. Just use PropStream. Okay, PropStream you can find at myempirepro.com/PropStream. PropStream has the CRM capabilities. You can actually send out postcards from inside of PropStream, and obviously you have access to all of the list pendings data, plus the data about if they are vacant, if they are tired landlords, if they are also you have access to data for buyers, for real buyers, actual real estate buyers that you can flip your real estate deals to, right? So it's a one-stop shop, and you're going to see more and more of a one-stop shop tech stack. Instead of back in the days, we used to pay $50 here, you pay $20 there, you pay another $30 over there, and then before the end of the month, you're paying about $500 worth of technology tools, and you've been paying that for like the last 3 years, and you haven't closed one deal. If that's your story, please do share that in the comment. There's a lot of people doing that. Why? How? Because over time, this guru recommends this guru. Anyway, the next point of leverage here is the media. You want to build a brand equity. Think about building brand equity over time. Okay. So if you can't do it, then make sure you have a partner that's actually doing that, because it's actually source of deals and leads at the end of the day. So for example, you can see me here doing YouTubes. We're posting a lot of reels. We're releasing reels and shorts and videos. We're blasting content everywhere. We're releasing at least 40 pieces of content per week doing this. Why? Media. It's a point of leverage. Okay. Leverage means you're able to achieve more with less, right? So traditionally, all you needed was capital and labor, right? Sorry, capital and labor, right? Capital and labor are the third and the fourth point of leverage. They still are, right? But now you need to understand that you need code, media, capital, and labor. So labor, eventually you might need transactional coordinators, you might need acquisition specialists, you might even need disposition specialists, or you might need a virtual assistant to help you with repetitive work. Repetitive work. A lot AI is carrying a lot of that weight, but you might end up in a place where it's absolutely worth it. You pay somebody an extra $3,000-4,000 every month just to make your life easier and to make the processes flow a lot better. So when it comes to labor, at some point, if you're doing this the right way, you can hire contractors and virtual assistants to help you scale marketing outreach, right? Even when it comes to the media stuff, like the content creation thing that I said, it's a big part of business in this time and age. And of course, capital. Okay. Capital, money. We need money. We need people that have money. Maybe they don't have time. That's why we open our doors for partners here, right? So you can use the profits and your profits, and you can also use partners as a source of capital to help you fund marketing, to help you fund operations, expansion, help you fund acquisition for in-house portfolio management and things like that. So these are some of the opportunities that are available. Okay. In terms of leverage, leverage has been a big part of my understanding about business. And honestly, without leverage, I don't know where I would be. I don't know if I can do everything. No one can do anything by themselves, right? So you built leverage. Now let's talk about where This is all adding because a wholesaler that's ignoring AI in this time and age, ignoring AI and automation, yeah, you get left behind. You end up in the streets of the internet saying wholesale is dead. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about AI and systems, and then we'll call it a day. Hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified every time we drop these videos. I'll be right back.
This is Ola, my Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your Empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.
All right, welcome back. So instead of talking about wholesale being dead, really what we should be talking about is the future of wholesale, right? Let's talk about the future of wholesale. Okay, AI is not just coming, it's here. Okay, wholesalers will learn how to harness and leverage AI systems they own the next decade. Okay, um, it's no longer a matter of his wholesale is going to be dead. Wholesale, there's no such thing as wholesale. It's like trade. Anything trade is not going to be dead. Exchange of value is not going to be dead. Exchanging of value by way of retail or wholesale is not going to be dead. Okay, so keeping a roof over your head is not going to be dead. Real estate is going to be here. Now, some forms of real estate might fluctuate all over the place. Like for example, commercial real estate, office buildings, retail stores. There's a lot of people with retail buildings that are struggling. I know a few of them. It's a struggle to get those retail stores rented out because once you lose tenants, so it's very rough. It's very rough. In fact, let me give you a tip. If you're trying to rent a retail store, please never pay a full price right now. Negotiate. They want you that bad. Okay. Don't tell them I told you. Okay. So AI is here to stay. AI is here to stay. And what I want to tell you is that I don't want to think about AI too much when it comes to wholesale real estate. I just want you to know that when it comes to your marketing, okay, when it comes to your marketing, that piece of it right there, that's going to be a key understanding for you. When it comes to setting up inbound marketing on digital platforms, you need to see back in the days we used to have to set up a target. You look for this, you look for to follow this guru, you follow the system, you follow Propstone, you follow Propwire, you follow Podio, so that you can acquire certain types of customers. That's when it comes to digital marketing. But when it comes to wholesale, you're looking for motivated sellers, right? So you might go download a bunch of emails from somewhere and then upload it into Facebook, and then you target those people. That's a lot of manual work. This time and age, all you want to do is set it up broad. You can target your location, but you set it up broad, you make sure your marketing message is on point. We buy houses. We're looking for houses to buy. Condition, it doesn't matter. Any condition. Needs repairs, it doesn't matter. Call me, call us. Complete this form, fill out this form. Keep it simple but persuasive. Keep it simple but persuasive. The marketing message, AI knows how to understand that. It knows how to find the right prospect. Now that's a function of time. It's actually going to go test out different markets. So it might look like unqualified leads initially. That's why you need to measure. That's why you want to regulate your budget. I recommend minimum $25 per day. You start like that, and then you scale as it finds more and more of the kind of prospect you're looking for. Now you want to pay attention. Sometimes you might just find a bunch of people filling out forms and then it zones in on that level, right? There might be an opportunity there, maybe not. And then you re-strategize, right? But I'm telling you right now that it is in your best interest to allow AI to carry the heavy weight because it's going to track AI lead scoring better than you. Okay, because it's using strictly numbers, no emotions. Okay. Also, as you scale out, you have chatbots on your website where people can literally chat with an AI agent on your website, and they can actually get pre-qualified and get more motivated to fill out your forms. There's also automated follow-ups. Like, we've had that forever, but it's getting better because of things like AI lead scoring, right? You can have, based on certain behavior on your CRM software, you can have certain predetermined emails going out to certain people for specific types of follow-ups, right? So you don't want the person that's ready to take a move right now. You don't want them to wait for another 7 days before they see an email. But if you see them, they're acting and they're clicking around, they can actually get follow-up emails to ask them if they have any questions or encourage them to call you immediately with your phone number, right? So these are the future of business in general, but of course wholesale too. If you're starting and you want to be scaling, and all of this is all drag and drop for the most part. Okay, so don't get it twisted. The idea of AI and wholesale, that's the future. When we say artificial intelligence, I want you to don't think of it as AI. Think of it as artificial intelligence. Spell it out so you can understand here that it's still a function of your intelligence. It's how you use it, right? But don't jump. Don't How do I say this? There are gurus out there that will try to sell you five, six, $7,000 AI packages. I want you to be careful. Okay. Everything you need is already at your disposal for free. What you need to be doing, what we don't have enough of, is people actually executing, pulling the trigger, and jumping and say, hey, I'm ready to get started, putting their money where their mouth is. That's what we don't have enough people that are actually willing to execute. And if all you want to do is execute and set up your own campaign, we need people to get going doing that. Okay, but it starts with understanding very, very simple, timeless principles. So either we're talking about AI or not, the principles are all the same. You need people, you need value, and you need systems to connect the two together. That is always going to be the bottom line. It's just that now today you want to use data driven decision making, systems, workflows, processes to help you navigate the noise so you can get to the actual signals, which is money, making profit. Okay, making profit. If houses don't exchange hands, no money is going to be made. All right. The AI falls in between all the how to's, but don't overthink it. Okay, don't go out there and start building your own AI agents that would basically do copy and paste for you for the next 48 hours. You're going to end up wasting time still, even though you think you're doing AI. Allow the software developers to worry about the AI, but I want you to understand that if they say, hey, AI is lead scoring and it's using data driven and all these different things to help you make your life easy, there's nothing wrong with testing new things out. Test them out within the jurisdiction of your set budget of time and money for testing, which you should always have something like that. And then if it works, you double down. If it doesn't work, you discard it, get rid of it. But never take your eyeballs, your attention away from the simple principle of people, value, system. Okay. People, at the end of the day, it's about the audience. It's about whatever your audience is about, serving a particular person and making sure you're bringing value to them. Okay. How do we do that in wholesale? Marketing, acquisition, disposition. Okay. Those are the process that will help you travel all the way through data, contacts, leads, contract, the money, and then deals. Okay. So again, I have a free course. It's available for free on the YouTube channel. It might play right after this. Go through it. It's a playlist of 7 videos, short videos, 5 to 7 minutes each. It walks you through the process step by step, and then and exactly how I use the only tool that I share here, which is PropStream. And if you have any questions, my contact information is always scrolling to the screen. Feel free to reach out. And then also feel free, you can also, if you want to be a partner, you can take a free consultation with me. We take it from there. I do not have a course to sell anymore. We used to say we sold a ton of courses. We're done with that. It's time to execute and let's make some money together. you have what it takes. And there are 4 leverage points that I've shared with you today. Okay, you fall somewhere between code, media, labor, capital. You fall somewhere in there, right? So, but we can figure that out if you do take a consultation with me. All right. Thank you so much. Hopefully, you've been enlightened, educated. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. God bless. Peace.
This is Ola, my Empire Pro, your favorite real estate coach. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your empire starts today. I've written 3 game-changing books. Download them free at myempirepro.com/books. I'm also looking for partners, money, time, or anywhere in between. If that's you, visit myempirepro.com/partners. And if you want to try the all-in-one PropStream software for free, go to myempirepro.com/PropStream. Stay tuned. Let's build your $10,000 per month real estate empire.